What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to analyze the tape from the Senior Bowl of defensive tackle Deone Walker from Kentucky. This is one of those guys that, from a size perspective, is just absolutely different. Now, Walker is 6'7", 340 pounds. The guy's just a big football player, and he moves pretty well for that size. Generally speaking, you're not getting guys that size in the NFL. Some people have compared him to a guy like Dexter Lawrence, who is an absolute monster as well. And I want to break down kind of what we've seen from this guy. Now, I don't want to get into any of the one-on-one reps, because generally speaking, one-on-one reps do favor the defensive linemen, so I don't want to get into that, but we'll be breaking down some of the team stuff. Starting with the first play right here, you're going to see Walker does a really good job fighting the right guard who has a reach block on Walker. To me, this is exactly what you have to do when you're lined up in that two-eye technique. So Walker is shaded to the inside of this guard. Essentially what that means is, if the play is going to be towards the right, and the guy here is trying to get in front of Walker, Walker has to make sure that that does not happen. He has to make sure to stay within the run fit, and Walker does a really good job in this case. The guard gets out of his stance. You can see he's trying to reach in front of Walker, and the defensive tackle is going to get his hands right on the guard and going to push this guy back, gets past him, and sets himself up perfectly in the A-gap. This is absolutely perfect, because when you set yourself up in that gap, that means the running back has to cut it towards the left side of you. And that's exactly what happens on this one. And the play basically gets blown up right at the line of scrimmage. And that's because of Walker being able to kind of do his thing on this one. There's a couple more snaps that I want to show you guys. Now, on that last play, the guy that he ultimately blew up was Miles Frazier, who's a guard for LSU. I think that's important context to understand because, of course, at the Senior Bowl, a lot of these guys are going to be playing in the NFL. You got another guy here that's going to be the center out of Arkansas State. His name is Jacob Bayer. He definitely has shown some flashes on tape as well. This was not one of those. So once again, Walker's going to line up in that two-eye technique. The center has a reach block on Walker, and Walker just straight up takes this guy right back into the quarterback. Now, Walker doesn't actually make the play on this one, so you could technically say that the center actually won this rep. But to me, when you watch this tape, the center has a reach block, and that reach is not going to happen. Walker gets right into the center, and he's going to just walk him right back. 4, 5, 6 yards under the backfield. Now, I'll show you guys the end zone angle as well, because I think it's a lot more clear what kind of happens within this play. I mean, to me, that's an incredible ass rep right there. And, you know, one of the things we got to realize is these guys aren't always just trying to make the play, right? These guys are also trying to get out there and do things that they could put out there on tape, right? For Walker, for example, being able to push this guy back the way he does on this one, I mean, that's incredible right there. To be able to push a guy that's going to be in the NFL potentially 4, 5, 6 yards into the backfield is incredible. And for Walker, he wants to put this on tape, right? He wants scouts to show how hard it is to move this guy, the power he has, the quickness out of his stance as well. I mean, look at this. Walker's the first guy out of his stance on that defensive line. And this is what makes Walker different than a guy like Jordan Davis, who's also pretty damn big. Walker moves the same way someone like Dexter Lawrence moves, right? This guy's fast out of his stance, which is why so many scouts love Deone Walker's tape. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, man. This guy has the potential to be a top 15 pick based off of the potential. Alrighty, guys. So you got another rep here. It's a pretty solid rep once again by Walker. The quarterback is going to end up fumbling the football on this one. But based off what the play was, based off of what Walker does as well, he does a pretty good job on this one. He definitely does his responsibility within this play. Let's break this play down a little bit. So right away, you can tell if you look at the running back that this is some sort of toss play to the right. The running back's looking for the football, as you can see right there. The ball is not going to get to the running back. At the same time, if you look at the front side blocker, specifically the tackle, and then keep an eye on the defensive end here as well, you can tell that it's some sort of pin pull concept. You get a guy pulling, and basically from the left guard to the right tackle, all of these guys are reach blocking. To me, that tells me this is a pin pull towards the right. Of course, the quarterback does fumble the football, but on a pin pull, especially to the opposite side of where Walker is lined up, all he can really do is jump the gap, which is exactly what he's going to do, and then just run down the line of scrimmage. In the case the running back tries to cut it back towards the inside. And in this instance, Walker does beat the reach block by the tackle. He's going to be able to get in front of this guy, and he does a pretty good job staying within the run fit. Now, he does fall over, and I'm not sure if that's because of the fact that the quarterback here fumbled the football, so he saw the fumble and he's trying to jump on top of the ball, or if he just loses his balance. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a good job regardless to be able to jump the gap and not get reached by the tackle, right? So just a little bit of credit there on this play for Walker to kind of be doing his thing. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and get into this next snap here. Once again, Deone Walker's going to do a pretty good job, and I should also note this. we're basically watching every single one of Walker's plays. I'm not really skipping any of the plays. There was one play that we skipped in which Walker didn't do anything, and the reason why was because the play went the other way. But here's another one. Keep in mind, this is the 5th play that Walker was in, and again, we've already broken down 3 of the 5, and this is, of course, the 4th one we're breaking down. This is duo, and Walker does a really good job. Now, he does get turned a little bit on the double team block, right? And it's not perfect, but he actually does a pretty good job holding the block. And I want to show you guys what happens within this play. Now, keep in mind the running back running 40 yards downfield doesn't mean much, right? You're not bringing these guys down at this point. But let's talk about this play and kind of what Walker has to do and kind of how this play is going to work. So it is duo, which is a power-based concept. So basically, you're going to get 2 guys here to block out. You're going to get the tackle here to block out. And then everything else is basically on the inside. You're going to get a double team here. You're going to get a double team here. And the double team from Walker's 2 guys, right? Both guys are the LSU guys, Miles Frazier, and I think Behringer is his name, which is the tackle. Those 2 guys are going to go up to the linebacker there. You got the center guard here. They're going to go up to the other linebacker. Keep in mind, there's 5 cutback options for the running back to potentially find, right? And that's the point of duo, that you're going to basically seal out on the outside, and then you're going to let the 4 guys block the other 4. Keep in mind, when there's 4 offensive guys, that means there's 5 gaps. So the running back just has to ultimately find the gap. So this play actually favors the offensive side of the football because the defense is playing a light box. But again, Walker does a really good job being able to hold the double team block. And this is something that I think Walker is going to be drafted for, right? It's going to be his ability to defend a light box and just kind of be disruptive. So remember, the guard that Walker is going up against as well as the tackle have to double team, and then they have to get up to number 6, the linebacker. And notice number 6 is going to go unblocked, essentially. Walker holds both of those guys right there. And number 6 goes unblocked, and number 6 gets in there, and right there he makes the play on the running back. So that's a good job by Walker, and that was kind of hard to see from this angle. So we'll go ahead and get into the all-22 angle. Might be a little bit easier to see. You can see Walker takes on the double team block. He does get turned a little bit. He does get pushed back a little bit as well. So maybe just a little bit of a better job holding the block right there. But remember, his guy does go unblocked, right? And his guy is going to be one of the guys that kind of gets in there right about there. The play picks up, I'd say, about 2 yards, maybe a yard, depending on where the spot of the ball is exactly. But regardless, it's a good job by Walker to be able to kind of fight through the double team block and allow his linebacker to run free. From day one, this is the final play that Walker was in during the team portion of practice. Walker's going to do a pretty good job chasing this down the line of scrimmage. This is going to be a pin pull towards the left. Remember, we broke it down towards the right where Walker was away from the play. It's the same thing. He's away from the play. But on this one, he doesn't fall down. Instead, he's going to do what he's supposed to do. He's going to defeat the reach block by the tackle. Right, the left tackle has to get in front of Walker. Walker's not going to allow that to happen. And you can tell based off of where he's aligned that he essentially has to stay within the B gap, right? That's going to be his run fit on this one. He's going to make sure the tackle does not reach him. He uses the hands to keep the tackle off of him. As soon as he recognizes the play, look at him just run downwards. I love this, man. Absolutely love the effort here by Walker. He's not going to make the play, right? But he's pretty close. And maybe he does help make the play, right? In a live game, maybe he does make that tackle right there. Remember, Walker is not an average defensive tackle, so don't evaluate him the same way you would Kalijah Kancey or Jalen Carter. Trust me, this guy's a lot different. He was very, very quick for that size that he plays with. Now, I also want to show you guys a quick play from day one of practice. This play actually went viral, so I want to clear this one up a little bit. Plus, we'll get into day 2 here in a second. But some of you guys may have seen this play here posted on Twitter, where people are talking essentially about Willie Lampkin, who's 5'10", and they say that, hey, this guy held his own against Kentucky defensive tackle Deion Walker. And this was the exact tweet. Has 6,000 likes, has a ton of views. I want to clear this up a little bit, because people are saying, hey, Deion Walker is pass rushing this guy and he gets stood up. You know, what type of football player is he if he gets stood up by a guy that's, 5'10", 270 pounds? This is misinformation. This is not true. This is not what's actually happening within this play. So I'm going to go ahead and flip into the actual film, right? It's just from a different angle. What we have to realize with what's going on right now is this is not a pass rushing drill. People are misunderstanding what's happening out here. People think this is a drill in which Deion Walker is supposed to pass rush the offensive lineman here. And that is not what's supposed to happen right here. This is actually a run blocking drill, right? So the offensive linemen are actually run blocking. They're actually going out towards Deion Walker. They're going out towards the defensive end here. And the offensive linemen are trying to move these guys. If you guys keep an eye here on the tackle, look at the tackle take the fight here to the defensive end, and look at him try to run block this guy. Look at him get physical over here towards the left of your screen. Right, he's trying to run block this guy. You keep an eye here on Walker. The guard is trying to move Walker, and this is not going to happen. The guard should have fired out towards Walker. He should have been able to generate movement. I think it's like they're trying to block this the way you would inside zone, based off of what the center is doing, the tackle and guard are doing as well. But to me, this is not a pass drill situation. This is a run blocking drill. And Walker straight up stands this guy, right? And there's no movement here. To me, Walker absolutely crushes the offensive lineman. Walker essentially pushes this guy back. He essentially resets the line of scrimmage. If this is inside zone, this play is not going to hit to the right because of essentially what Walker is doing within this play, right? He's holding his gap, really stands this offensive lineman up. So I just wanted to point that out. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and switch focus. Let's go ahead and get into the second day of practice from the Senior Bowl. We got a ton of really nice reps coming out once again. We're going to start with the first play here of day 2. You're going to see Walker do a really nice job resetting the line of scrimmage, getting physical with this offensive lineman, and he's going to ultimately make the play. And he's going to ultimately end up getting in there and making the play. So you're going to get a zone run towards the left, and Walker's going to do a really good job resetting the line of scrimmage. Now, do keep in mind the run is to the left, and the guard has a reach block on Walker, and Walker's going to do a phenomenal job with the hands. Once again, he's going to penetrate the gap. He's going to push this guy backwards. It's hard to tell from this angle, but you can definitely tell that based off where the guard initially makes contact with Walker that he ends up going backwards about a yard or two. So again, a really good job right there by Walker to be able to get into the backfield. You can see as the running back tries to bend this back towards the right, Walker gets off the block. He's going to get right in there, and he's going to help essentially make the play. That's a really, really nice run rep by Deion Walker. Now, a little bit of criticism I do have for Walker is sometimes he plays a little high, right? And I think you can see that on tape on certain plays where he kind of stands up right out of his stance. And I do understand he's 6'7", so even if he does get low, it's going to look a lot higher than some of these other guys. But you can tell that in this one here, he ends up a lot higher than both of these guys. The tackle does a great job staying low. The guard makes contact fairly high, but again, Walker's above both of these guys, right? So I think one of the things we'll have to work on is to stay a little bit lower as he's pass rushing. But the run reps that we've seen from Walker in practice up to this point has been absolutely incredible, right? He's been very disruptive. He's constantly in the backfield, and he's actually making plays out there. And I don't want to overlook the fact that this guy as a run defender is absolutely different. Right? This guy's so much better than most defensive linemen defending the run. And of course, his pass rush, it's not terrible. We won't get into his pass rush too much in the Senior Bowl reps because a lot of these plays are going to be running plays that they're kind of doing. The pass reps come probably on day 3 a little bit more, but we'll mostly see that in the actual game, the Senior Bowl game. But to me, this is a really nice disruptive rep once again. On this one here, you're going to get a power run towards the right. You should have a double team here by these 2 offensive linemen. And then you're going to pull the guard over here towards the right. And of course, the running back is meant to hit this right in between that gap there. But again, Walker does a really nice job being able to penetrate the gap, as you guys are going to see. He ends up just going right over the top of the down block. So again, just a really, really nice job to be able to go over the top. You're going to see him with the right hand grab onto the guard. And then you're going to see with the left arm, he's going to swim over the top. And he's going to actually disrupt the pulling guard. So you can see the right guard pulls towards the right of your screen. And he's going to get back there. He's going to take that guard on that's pulling, right? So this guy absolutely disrupts this play. The play does not work right here because of Walker, right? So that's a really, really good rep right there by Walker to be disruptive and to basically shut down this play. Already got another one here, just being disruptive once again, generating that movement, getting into the backfield. This is absolutely impressive, man. To me, it's kind of interesting that we're not hearing as much hype with a guy like Deion Walker based off some of the tape that we've seen from the Senior Bowl. Remember, these are some of the best offensive linemen coming out this year. Most of the guys at the Senior Bowl are going to be drafted. If not drafted, they'll be priority undrafted free agents, and most of these guys end up on NFL rosters. To me, this is a really, really good job once again. This looks like duo. I'm not 100% sure if that's what it is. It could be a zone run. Or it could be some sort of counter. I don't know if the running back and the quarterback mess up. The running back goes right. The quarterback takes this towards the left. So I'm not sure if there's some miscommunication there. But Walker does a great job being able to kind of go right over that guard. Makes himself skinny. The tackle comes and he kind of just gets right past that. Really quickly sets up into the backfield. That's an absolutely impressive rep, in my opinion, by Deion Walker. You got another one here. Once again, Deone Walker is just generating pressure. This is a pass play, and he's going to basically go right over the guard, utilizing a swim move. This is one of the moves, if you guys watch his tape, he goes to pretty often as a pass rusher. He does a really good job with that grip. A right hand's going to grab on, left hand's going to come over the top, and you can see it right there. Right hand grabs and pulls forward, left arm comes over the top. And Walker does show this on tape as well, right? So this isn't like he does this one time. It's kind of one of those lucky moves. This guy actually does this on tape. So again, really, really solid rep once again. Generates pressure, gets towards the quarterback. It is a 3-step drop, so you're probably not going to actually get to the quarterback. Overall, Deone Walker, to me, is one of the best defensive tackles in this class. And truth be told, based off of what I saw at the Senior Bowl, I think he might be the best defensive tackle. Now, I'm personally not as high on Mason Graham as some other people are. I think one of the things with Graham is he does have shorter arms, and I do think that from a pass rush technique, he doesn't show a whole lot. And I also think that if you're a defensive lineman who is based mostly on strength in college, it doesn't translate into the NFL as well. Most guys in the NFL are very, very strong. Unless you're in the elite level of strength, the way Deone Walker is, right? He's 6'7", he's super, super long, has a crazy reach, but he also has some pass rush skills, right? He still has some ability to get after it. And based off of what I'm seeing with this guy, there's a real chance he might be the best defense tackle in this class. And he might not be the guy that ends up going number 1 or number 2 when it comes to defensive linemen. But what you do see with Walker is you see a guy that's strong, he's physical, he's long, he's lengthy. Again, he reminds me so much of a guy like Dexter Lawrence, right? He's big, he's strong, he's physical. He's very, very hard to move, right? And I think that's the big key difference with a guy like Walker compared to some of the other defensive linemen in this class. To me, this guy has so much upside, reminds me so much of Dexter Lawrence. I hope you guys enjoyed this film breakdown. If you did, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time with another video.